Hey everybody, this is Etane with Quiet Author Updates. I think I'm going to stick with that caption Quiet Author, even though I'm not always going to film at midnight or after, but I like the word quiet. So that's how it's going to be. For this, I'm not going to do an exact update with the book right now. Instead, I do have some things to update you on. Hopefully, I'm going to try to post on Sundays if I can get into the regular habit of doing that. Because I have some fun things to show you. But I thought first, I've tried recording this a few times over the last few days and I keep deleting and trying again. And I'm just going to try to put it out there. I don't know how to edit videos, so I feel like I just have to get this done in one take. And if it's kind of messed up, it's kind of messed up. And I'm just going to try to go with it and not make it perfect, whatever that means. I think in this day and age with social media, if you don't put out there right away like who you are and what you stand for, inevitably people will feel disappointed when they find out more about you. There will always be people who will be like, oh, I didn't think she stood for that or whatever. So as I was falling asleep last night, I just thought, I'm gonna just do one video where I just put out there who I am and what I'm about, so that nobody can say they weren't warned. And I will do my best to leave it up there and not delete it. I usually like vent and then delete a few days later once I realize I don't want all of that information out there for a long period of time. But if I'm really trying to make it in this world, this author world, and to build an audience, then I do want people to know what's important to me. And if you don't agree with it, that's totally fine. Maybe just scroll on to something else and don't leave any hateful comments. I really don't want to read them. I believe everybody has a right to their own opinions, and hopefully I'm here for people that either enjoy what I'm saying or are interested in hearing what I'm saying and possibly changing their point of view. But I've made so many posts in the past that I've regretted because I get to the point where I think it doesn't matter. People don't really want to hear what I have to say if they feel differently, and it just makes them kind of hate you if you feel a lot differently. And there is some validity to that, but then also, like, if you have a platform, which I don't right now, but I might in the future, I feel like you should use it to induce good in the world, in what you believe anyway. So anyway, I'm gonna try not to make this super long, but I do wanna just have a one and done video so that people know who and what they're investing in if they invest in me or my stories or my art or anything like that. I have written some notes, so you might see me reading because, like I said, I just need to be able to do this in one take. In terms of religion, I am not super religious. I guess you could say my religion is kindness. I just believe in the golden rule. I believe in treating other people the way you want to be treated. I think the world would be a much better place if we all did that. I am Christian. I was raised Christian. I believe in God. But I don't necessarily write about that. And instead, I do more about like magic and miracles and let people interpret that in their own way. I believe we all have more in common than not, and maybe we all believe in something similar but call it by a different name. Let's see. I believe in generosity. I believe in genuine compliments. You know, when I was younger, I was always so afraid of, I don't know how to exactly articulate this, but I've always been in awe of certain people, and I've always wanted to tell them Like, I think you're incredible. And I've always been afraid that that comes across as brown nosing, and that's not at all who I am. I would never give somebody a disingenuous compliment, especially if it could be construed like I'm brown nosing, because I get the major ick by doing that. But now that I'm past 50, for some reason, something just kind of kicked in where I'm like, no, if someone is important to you or they're doing something that you feel is beautiful or important and you want to say something, you should. Like, again, I think the world would be a better place if we all did that. So I'm all about saying something nice to anybody you can, and you never know if that will make their day. Everybody, I mean, life is hard, right? So if you hear a really genuine comment, doesn't that feel good? Like, isn't that nice? So I don't know. I feel like if you feel it, speak it. Let's see. I believe politically, I am progressive. I believe in equality. I believe in inclusivity. I don't believe there should be billionaires. I think it's ridiculous for one person to have so much money when there is so much pain and suffering in the world, and that wealth could be spread out a lot more equally. I still believe in free market and competition. I believe you can have both. I basically believe that billionaires should pay their fair share in taxes. I don't think that's a crazy concept. Like, I don't understand why they don't, except that they make the laws or influence those that do. I believe, okay, here's a big thing I wasn't sure I should talk about, but I'm gonna. In middle school, my girls are so embarrassed by this, by the way, that I'm talking about it so much lately with my friends, but I love Michael Jackson. I absolutely adore him. I think the biopic just whipped my head around again. In middle school, I loved him to pieces. And then with all the allegations in adulthood, that was my kind of young adulthood, and I didn't know what to think. And I think there were so many other things going on in my life at that point that I just kind of, it wasn't that important to me. And now I have done some deep dives, possibly because I've been so disenchanted with politics lately that I've just tried, in my free time, I just like try to find other things to veg out with. And Michael Jackson videos have been one of them, or people that have known him and talk about him. And I know very well that when you put someone on a pedestal, they'll tend to disappoint you. I totally get that. And I just don't believe this is one of those cases. I think he was an absolutely amazing person, and I feel so honored that we were alive at the same time. Like, it's to that extent, you guys. I don't know what to say except that when I have felt like giving up in writing over the past year with just lots of rejections and that sort of thing, I'll hear some Michael Jackson like lyrics or something like that, and I'll keep going, and I'll just think, okay, I don't know. I think he was just tapped into something so much bigger than himself, and he was obviously a human being and fallible and all of that. But I think Eddie Murphy said it best when he said, in real life, there was a Michael Jackson that was like the human. He was pretty frail, honestly. But then on stage, he turned into Michael Jackson. And he just tapped into something otherworldly. And I think he was a once in a lifetime or more, not even entertainer. He was so much more than an entertainer. And I think it's, I don't know, I think it kind of I don't think that's a verb, superficializes him to just call him an entertainer, because he was a global phenomenon, where around the world everybody could sing his songs even when they didn't speak English. And um, he tapped into something, and he studied all the other greats. Like, he studied Baryshnikov and Bruce Lee and Fred Astaire and Gene Kelly, you know, Michelangelo, all the greats, not just in dance, but all the greats. He was a philosopher himself, honestly, it seems like to me. And I feel like he was just so pure-hearted that he got torn apart by this world. I 100% believe in his innocence. And I don't know, I feel like it's important to put that out there, that that's how I feel. In my next book, I'm only going to say this one time in this video, so you guys will know, because I just don't want to harp on it, but the dedication will be to MJ, and you all will know what that means. I mean, think about all he did with Ryan White, for those of you that remember the little boy with AIDS. And I think I saw an interview the other day where they said Neverland could see up to 600 kids a week that were either disabled or inner city or terminally ill, to just cheer them up and show them something that they would never experience otherwise. And he never had the media there for that. That's what was important to him, and that's what he did with his money. He would call terminally ill children during the last few months of their life just to cheer them up. Like, who do you know right now that would do that? He would insist on tickets for his concerts going for like $15 for some seats because he wanted everybody to be able to go. I don't know. I just think incredibly special, just an incredibly special person. And he's influencing me a lot right now. And I just want to put that love kind of back into the world. And a little tidbit for you, my own little version of like Easter eggs is gonna be from now on, every book that I write, including the ones that I'm gonna redo, because I do intend to redo almost all of my earlier books at some point. I'm gonna have some Michael Jackson, sorry, if you hear rain in the background, that's what's going on. But I'm gonna have some Michael Jackson, either song title or lyric from a song in it. That will be fairly obvious to those that are looking for it. But I feel like that will be kind of fun. I just feel like he was pummeled in the last few years of his life. And I feel like those of us that kind of know and love him just need to do everything we can to make sure his legacy lives on. And I think it obviously will, but I want to do my little small part too. I think that's basically it. Oh, in terms of literary agents, that is something I wanted to talk about. In the last video, I said I'm just kind of done. I had gotten several rejections, got another one last week that I had put out a few months ago, but it was nice. It was basically like my writing in the first few pages didn't catch their attention enough, but they said it in a nice way. So anyway, I was saying that I'm just gonna embrace being on my own, and to a large extent that's true, but now I've also just had a chance to really reflect on, you know, I know myself and I know I don't want to be doing this alone, and I want to be doing it with somebody who feels as passionately about what I'm doing as I do, because I know this is what I'm supposed to be doing. So whenever I've done so much research over the past few years that, you know, in my algorithms, my search algorithms, sometimes things pop up and agents will pop up that sound like a perfect fit. So I will still try. I'm still going to try with certain agents. I'm just not going to invest a lot more time researching. But if something just comes across my screen and sounds like a good fit, I'm going to go for it and just see what happens. And I mean, that's about it that I think I wanted to say. Yeah, I think that's all I want to say right now in this. It's a lot, and I just want to make sure I put out there what I'm about and not feel like I need to hide anything. I really just want the people that will follow my work to understand who I am and embrace that. If that makes sense. I hope it does. I love you guys. Take care. Bye.